Alexa Bliss just turned heel by hitting a Sister Abigail on Nikki Cross. What? I am Corporate Chopper. I'm joined by Andy Datson. Welcome to the WrestleTalk podcast review of SmackDown. And the first thing we're going to be talking about today is this Alexa Bliss heel turn, seemingly. There was a fatal four-way match to determine Bayley's new number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship between Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, Lacey Evans, and Tamina was also there. That's not my words, by the way. That's the commentary, which we'll get to later. But during the course of this match, there was a few, back and forth stuff. It was a fine match. Things were happening. And then on the outside, Alexa and Nikki were teaming up a little bit. Nikki hit a double cross body onto Lacey and Tamina. She turned round and Alexa, very blank expression, just grabbed Nikki straight into the headlock, delivered the kiss, and boom, Sister Abigail onto the outside. And ad break immediately afterwards. Which
that really kind of shows how important this is to everyone. What you do to capitalize on a really shocking moment is to make everyone forget about it, because then they'll see things about crisps and, I don't know, cookies and car insurance and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then after the ad break came back, they said, look what happened in the ad break. And Alexa Bliss had just left the match. She seemed to have the same kind of trance-like vacant expression that she had before, and she just walked out of the match, leaving Nikki to herself, which, was really good. Would have been great to show that on the show and not in an ad break, but, that's just me.
Yeah, you got to think, there are loads of times, especially in a Tamina match, where you can just put an ad break and you will miss nothing. So to have them put it where the only time, that match was good, but the only time that something like genuinely surprising and important to storylines happens, because you've got Nikki Cross, so she does, you said, she does the crossbody. Then Alexa just picks her up, and you just got Nikki going like, "What are you doing, stepsis? Like, what are you doing, Sister Abigail?" And then she hits that, and you're like, okay, so she's fully Bray, or she's fully like getting into this character now. Because last week all we had was, "Oh man, I'm sorry, here's a weird hug." So it's not been the greatest storyline, but this feels like a bit of a revival for it, because it's like an actual kind of physical thing that we can see. Because last week it just felt like it was in that portion of the show which was so rushed that it didn't feel significant. And once again, they've made this very significant thing feel really insignificant by putting the ad break. But let's try and be positive. At least, I mean, it feels like they see Nikki Cross now as a single star, and they are very much using Alexa as this kind of fiend offshoot.
Yes, which I'm all for. I think that's really cool. It's a really fun development of her character, and I think the turn was executed really well, bar the ad breaks and the not caring. Because even when they came back from the ad break, they were like, "Look what happened in the ad break. She's gone." Okay, cool. Now here's Nikki Cross doing her match. I'm like, guys, this is a big deal. Care more. Like, Alexa Bliss, not only did she just turn on her supposed best friend, and, we've seen little glimpses of it. She smashed the mug a couple weeks ago. Then they made up last week, so technically they're still best friends. She just hit a move on her best friend, but not any move. It was a Sister Abigail that she hit. This is a really big deal. Commentary. Dude, play it up.
And not only that, but Alexa then just walks off, so she forfeits her chance to become number one contender, which... yeah, they're not going to win at, unless, I guess, Sasha Banks costs Bayley the title, but that shouldn't happen because there should be something on the line for it. But Alexa just cost her opportunity at the belt to kind of side with Bray Wyatt, which, again, is like, okay, so she cares more about Bray Wyatt than she does about being champion. That's important, not just... oh, would you look at that? Right, well, the rest of the match is...
that is literally the commentary saying, "Can you believe it?" Yeah. Anyway, here's Nikki Cross. But aside from that, it's not really a nitpick. That's a legitimate criticism, I'd say, of the execution of it. But aside from that, the Fatal 4-Way itself continued on. The match itself was fine, nothing too special. I thought the finish, though, was really well done. It really showed like Nikki having to properly like scrape and claw her way to try and get past Lacey and stuff, and Tamina, because Tamina got hit with a woman's right. And then immediately afterwards, Nikki went for a neck breaker, which got countered. Then she countered Lacey's move. She got her up on the ropes, hit the swinging neck breaker off the ropes. Then Tamina broke up that pin. Tamina came back, and then she managed to roll up Tamina and get the win. It was properly like fast paced. It was like Nikki's got so much to get through to try and win this match, which worked really well. And she did win, pinning Tamina. So she is new number one contender to Bayley. It should be a really good match. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, there's lots of story elements in play, whether Sasha comes back, whether Alexa costs Nikki, that kind of thing. There's lots to work off for that, which is great. But yeah, I just wish they cared a bit more about Alexa's turn, because this, I feel like, is a really big deal. And obviously we've got some other stuff going on with Bray Wyatt on this show. I'm just really curious to see where the Alexa story goes. Coming out of it, that felt like it should be the big story coming out of it. But it felt like it was a side note compared to Nikki and the Fatal 4-Way.